Good Thursday morning to you. Roger Hill with the VELCO Weather Hazards Outlook. This weather video, driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, 802 Honda, all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. Periodic high cloudiness kind of rolling through. That's been the case since yesterday, and it continues this morning. We'll see a little bit of an increase in the amount of sunshine. This is our setup, and the reason for the increasing amount of sunshine is we have a jet stream that's going to blow these clouds out of the way. Meanwhile, back up and down the eastern seaboard, it continues to be a drenching rain, most notably seeing some flooding, and there will be more where that came from over the next 3 days across especially the middle Atlantic states. But really, this moisture feed coming right out of the deep tropics, right along the eastern seaboard, propelled by the Bermuda High. This then hits that jet stream, gets shunted off to the east, and this is what's been saving our bacon. Unfortunately, there's going to be, the dam is going to break as a weak weather system is going to rotate and then push this up into our neck of the woods over the weekend, probably arriving in southern parts of Vermont during the morning hours on Saturday, overspreading the region by midday or early afternoon, and continuing to rain off and on. A little bit of a slight bit of instability is going to develop across our far southern parts of Vermont on Sunday afternoon. This is a little bit of a switch. It was looking like Saturday we might see this. This is now pushed back into Sunday. And then this is out of here as we have another weather system, another area of higher pressure that's going to build across the Great Lakes and push all this inclement weather over the weekend out of the region for the early to mid part of next week, with some dry project weather developing then. Looking at the 6 hourly maps of precipitation and pressure, well, we're looking at dry weather. An area of higher pressure southeast of James Bay is the controlling influence. And again, it's shunting a lot of that moisture up and down the eastern seaboard into some parts of the northeast, just about New York City, southern New England, and pushing it well to the south. You can see that area of higher pressure moves across Quebec at 1035 millibars or hectopascals. And then that moves on by. It'll open the door for rain. And this rain gets in here, it looks like, along about midday Saturday and pushes across the region. And as it does, the second impulse on Sunday, and then it moves on out of here for Sunday night. And then this area of higher pressure across this particular area is going to, in tandem, work toward us across the Great Lakes, shunts more moisture to the south. And meanwhile, down around the middle Atlantic states and parts of the eastern seaboard, they continue to see even more showers and rain next week. Our next chances, it looks like not until somewhere along about Wednesday. Again, this has been pretty far out, so it's a possibility and not a certainty at this point. GFS ensemble, we're seeing generally dry weather, and then we get that precipitation over this coming weekend. Not looking at very much here. In general, between these two pulses, we're looking at generally under an inch, some of these plumes showing around an inch. And not a big deal at this point in time, but you can see some drier weather even advertised by the GFS ensemble as well as the European. So models are locking in with pretty decent agreement overall. And this has not been the case for a good portion of the winter going into mid-spring. 7-day total QPF. You can see that the main area here is just being inundated, and they're looking at a flooding scenario across the middle Atlantic states around Virginia, the Delmarva, back up into Maryland, New Jersey, and so forth. Southern New England a little wetter, and then northern New England, this is our 1-inch line. No extremes in temperature. This is the GFS ensemble centered on Burlington once again. First of all, let's look at the 850 hectopascal temperatures, and freezing line or 0 degrees Celsius, all above the freezing mark, so that's good news. No worries of any kind of other types of precipitation. We're done for the season, fingers crossed. So high temperatures, kind of par for the course, a little bit, maybe slightly below normal just by a hair, and it does look like our nights are getting pretty chilly. And then we have this little setup here on Saturday afternoon where temperatures will be probably rain-cooled. So a coolish day, but then temperatures return a little bit more of a moderation in effect. Beyond this period, as we get later, maybe late next week or very far beyond, I'm seeing the possibility of some 80-degree temperatures being advertised. But here again, this is way around the corner. This is the latest next 5-day high temperature anomaly. So we're running about neutral or zero, a little colder to the north and west, a little warmer to the south. What about 3 days later? Not a lot of change, maybe a hint warmer. Taking a look at temperature anomalies across the planet, it's colder than normal across portions of Canada, running well below normal here with this darker blue color. And this continues. It's starting to warm back up in the Arctic Ocean, the Arctic in general, northern Greenland and so forth. And Asia's got a similar situation as North America. That's now about the same, and this has not been the case. It's starting to cool down with some Arctic air pouring into parts of Asia with a cold front, probably triggering a lot of shower and thunderstorm activity there. For us, it's slightly warmer than normal, but not by much. So the overall trends are continuing to be fairly warm across parts of eastern Alaska, the Yukon, and then down into the lower 48. World as a whole running about 4/10 Celsius above normal. Northern hemisphere a little warmer than the southern hemisphere. The Arctic is back being a little bit warmer than the Antarctic, but it's not too far different there. The tropics remain to be closest to seasonal norms, and that is typically the case with polar amplification, especially in the Arctic region being warmer than normal. I suspect that this will start really showing up again, and that means a loss of sea ice and crazy jet stream weather. That's it from here, Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.